But before we get started, why don't you introduce everyone in the band?
You go.
This is Tom Holder on bass. We've got Joe Bornaro on drums. The infamous Frank Fogden on guitar. And I'm Will. And
I'm Georgie Fella. Hi.
So I've been watching a few of your interviews, reading up on you. I mean, I've seen you guys live before. I went to go see the Revivalists when they were at Edgefield. You opened up for their tour, a lot of their shows last year. Mm-hmm. Fantastic show, by the way. Thank you. This is your first album, full-length album that you've put out. It's called One of a Kind. It's been out for about a month. I want to talk a little bit about you. William, you've talked about this. Is it a voyage of discovery that you go on, sort of, when you kind of go into your studio and put together music? Tell us about that voyage.
I'm looking for worlds to go into that are sort of maybe not been into for a while or maybe ever before, and kind of I'm looking for something like an atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily sitting down and just writing a song. I'm looking for a world to go into. When that's based on the different sounds and the reverbs and the different sort of atmospheres of different songs. So I'll look at other songs and be like, that atmosphere is a kind of very Californian sort of breezy thing, and I'll try and sort of emulate that. And with all the different technology and sort of things, but I'm searching. I don't necessarily sit there and try and write songs in a corner. I'm finding sounds that are appealing and writing songs into the sounds. So I'll find a world and then write into that.
And it doesn't necessarily come out, as the beginning of a song. It can come out as sort of the chorus. It can kind of come out as anything, is what I was reading.
Sometimes they just drop out fully formed, and sometimes they take years.
It's that voyage of discovery.
Yeah, it can be long.
No. The two of you formed, if you will, got together in 2019. You played a couple of shows, and we all know what happened next. I mean, it was certainly a tough time emotionally, mentally. But as far as the music goes, I mean, you only got a chance to play your music a couple of times in public, and then you kind of step back. I mean, do you think that changed at all how you wrote music, approached music, any of that? I mean, it certainly gave you time to sit back and think about what you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see a way in which it couldn't have changed the way we wrote.
I would disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I've been on the same train since I was about
19.
But
I think that it gave the time, a headspace.
It was enormously helpful.
There was real space to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, we're having a little discussion.
Regardless of that, we wouldn't have had the period of listening to particular albums during lockdown.
Yes.
And some of these tracks would never exist if it wasn't for that.
You're right.
So we're both right.
I knew we'd get to that somehow. I read that you're always writing.
Yes.
Now, instead of asking you, well, I mean, not always, but instead of asking you where your favorite place is, I mean, I think it would be interesting. Was there ever a time when you were in a place and all of a sudden something came to you and you're like, no, not now? I mean...
sometimes in sound checks I'll hear things and I'm like, I just haven't got the time to sort of try and write something out of this song at the moment. And sometimes I'll record something on my phone, but then before I know it, Frank's made a song out of it. So, but yeah, it's funny, but sort of touring and that sort of different world, and it's like I personally need to be on my own and in a space for a while. But when we're moving from place to place, it's kind of hard. I mean, you take a lot in on the road, different things and places and people that you've met. But for me to actually formulate music, I can't really do it on the road myself. I don't have the headspace for it because touring is quite tiring, it turns out.
Go figure. So we talked about the tour last year where you opened up for Revivalists. Is this your second go-around in the States, or have you been...
No, this is our seventh.
Seventh?
Yeah, we've been touring since
2019.
No, we were sitting on our bottoms for 2.5 years. Since we were allowed to, this time 2 years ago. So if you back and forth across the pond, we've done 7 stints. I think we've done 45 states at this point. Yeah.
So you got some work to do. You got 5 more to catch up on.
That's it.
Has there been a place where you've stopped, I mean, besides Portland, obviously, where you were just like, ooh, this is kind of a cool place I'd like to explore? Because you can't really explore much on the road.
No.
Yeah, I mean, we just did a few days in LA, and we hadn't had the time to do that yet. And the EP was very much set in that Laurel Canyon era, so that was amazing to explore. But then, I mean, really, as soon as you start going west, I think for us, because a lot of the East Coast, a lot of it does feel like the UK. You know, it's luscious and green and a lot of the same sort of trees and stuff. And then you hit the desert, and you're like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this before. So we managed to, when we were driving down to Las Vegas last year with the Revs, we managed to go through the Valley of Fire, which looks like you're on Mars. It was just mind-blowing.
Well, that's pretty cool. That would be, I mean, honestly, one of the coolest things is touring around and seeing new places.
Yeah.
Tonight you're at the Mission Theater. Dylan LeBlanc is opening up for you. So if you don't have tickets, you still have time to buy tickets to go see them. I will get out of the way. I will let you continue playing. Thank you so much for stopping by on your tour.
Thank you for having us.